Hi, Veronica. Hello, Goldie. Welcome to the room. Come on in. Welcome to the room. Come on in. How's everybody doing? Hi, Sileta. I see you're on. I'm approving your... Come in. Hi, Andrea Jett, Margie Blair, Perkins. Welcome in. Hi, how was Christmas for everybody? Christmas. Stacy Langley, welcome in. Thank you for checking in from Charlotte, Veronica Morris, Shonda Johnson. Come on in here. I hope you guys have had a fabulous Christmas. I hope so. I see. What's going on, Sileta? We're going to try this thing again. Not tonight. Not tonight. We are not doing it. Not on this night. We are not. It's going to be a great one. I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode. Hi, Shonda. So good to see you in. Hopefully you guys have had a fabulous Christmas. Bill, hello. How are you? Wonderful. Thanks for coming into the room, Shonda. Christmas was awesome, Veronica. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Hopefully we can get Sileta on in here. Yay. Christmas, I had a great Christmas. Family is over the top fabulous all the time. I can't get enough of my fam. That's real talk. Real talk. And you know, it's not right unless, you know, we have some situations that go on. Every week, I have to have a disclaimer, the whole talk about getting my guests on. And just, I'm going to let you know right now, it's the end of the year. And I'm going to be making my transition to Instagram for my lives. I'm not going to continue doing my lives on Facebook because I have things to say, Sparrows. I have things to say, it's things to do. And when I'm spending 10, 15 minutes or longer to bring a guest in, not my life. Not my life. That's annoying. It's annoying. I don't like it. And I know it's disruptive to you all too, because you come on, I have all this juiciness to talk about, but then the momentum has weighed down by the time I get my guest on. Like tonight, Sileta, this is juice tonight. You saw the title of her book that's coming out. How to Get Over Him in an Hour? I've always given myself 7 days. And most people thought that was tragic. Like, Valerie, how do you get over somebody in 7 days? You can do it. I've done it many times. Many times. Edward Hare, welcome to the room. So I'm going to see if we can get Sileta in here. I've approved. And fingers are crossed. I can get Sileta on in here so we can start talking about this. Ms. Medlock, Shalitris, welcome in. How are you doing today, ma'am? How are you all doing? Christmas was fabulous, right? Anything unexpected that you received that you were not expecting to receive? Or did you do most of the surprising? Sileta, hold on. I'm going to see if I can send it to you again because I've approved and approved and approved for you to come on. It's just not making that actual connection. Drama, always. Antonio, welcome in. Shamez, welcome in. Is it Shamez or Mies? Did I say that correctly? I'm glad that you're great, Ms. Medlock. Come on in, Sparrows. Come on in. We're not going to have that drama tonight. I just feel it. I feel it deep down that we're not going to have all that. Because you know me, I will pull my phone out in a heartbeat. But that's not something that I want to do, because I want you guys to have, you know, the option of seeing Sileta. Wayne Henry, welcome in. Verna Jones, Merry Christmas, post-Christmas. Post. Yes, Sileta, it's giving me some kickback. So what I'm doing is I'm going to see if I can add you in again. I'm going to try it again. I am good, Shamiz. I am. It is. It says rotate to join, but it won't let me. Did you rotate your camera? Did you turn your camera to the side, Shalita? That's probably what it's asking of you. If you have an iPhone, that's exactly what it is. Verani Anderson, welcome in. It's saying that it's adding you now. If you turn your phone sideways, that's what happens. I've been in such, okay, so you have? Wonderful. So I just sent you an invite again. Lucinda, hi. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome into the room. How are things going? Joy Carswell, welcome in. Oh my goodness. Lucinda, it's so good to see you. So wonderful. We're going to get Sileta in just a moment. I know, I'm telling you, I had a great Christmas and still overcoming that. Still, what I would have done to be able to sleep all day, that wasn't a privilege that I had. No, little people tend to take your attention. And, you know, I had a sleepover last night. It was a sleepover with Madison. Madison, that's that great niece of mine, and she is everything. Today is her 7th birthday, and so she hung out with both aunties, her auntie Tiffany and her great auntie Nee, last night. This is a warning that I shared with you, Sileta. This is a warning and disclaimer for Facebook. It's not allowing me to add you on again. And for those of you who are just coming into the room, do me a favor. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do so now. Please do so now. tvm.217. And I'm going to be saying that throughout this particular broadcast for the simple fact I'm divorcing Facebook. I am, for this very same thing. It's after 7. We should have been well into it. Sileta, I just sent you another invitation, dear, saying adding. I'm not sure why it's not allowing you on. Auntie Edna's in the room. Hello, Merry Christmas, Post.
Okay.
Post. Oh my God.
Guess what? Apple was the problem. I switched to a Samsung. So I love Apple, but after that, after that right there. Hi guys.
Say hello to the Sparrows. Let them know you're in the room.
Hi everyone. I made it in the room. I'm just trying to set up now. Oh my Lord. I am so embarrassed of my iPhone.
Coming in here looking like some Diana Ross with all that big hair. Sharon Wallace. Hello, cuz. Welcome into the room. I love it. I love that you have your hair so huge like that. I remember the days when I did that.
When you weren't like that? Now I just gotta get, okay, there you do. Hi guys. Thank you for coming on. Sorry about that. My gosh.
It's like it takes the act of Congress to get somebody on
Yeah.
these. I have a
Yes,
long
yes.
list of things that I can complain to Facebook about. However, I won't. I'm gonna just move my real estate over to Instagram.
Over, over to
Serious, real
Instagram.
talk. I'm going to Instagram. And I see you have some family in the room too. Desiree Anderson. Are you seeing
Yes.
the thread?
Yes, I can see the thread. Hey, Sileta, I've been waiting for you. Hey, Shonda, thank you. I'm so glad
Yay!
you guys stayed on. I'm so happy you guys stayed on. Sorry about whatever went on the first, few minutes. I'm here
Don't
now.
apologize. It happens every week. I have to go for at least 7 to 10 minutes, sometimes longer, with a disclaimer of how it takes so long to connect here. But we won't waste not one more minute. And
Not
it's
one more.
recorded. So I went ahead and put
Hey, Veneer.
there. We
Sorry.
put it out. We put it out about it's that title. It's your title. How to get over him in an hour. Because
Oh,
of course,
Lord.
see, I do it in 7 days. 7 days or less. I'm down to maybe 3 days now. But for you to
Down to
say
3 days.
an hour, that's intense. But you know what?
That,
It's believable. Most people don't think I can do it.
yes.
I did. I did. And forget all about you. And it takes my best friend to remind me of somebody I used to date. She'll say, "Girl, you remember you dated this person?" I said, "No, I don't." So, because I
What was
forgot.
their name? Exactly.
She'll break,
Exactly.
she'll break down description, and I was like, "Oh yeah, 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 him, whatever," because I'm over it. Aletha, hi, how are you doing, Miss Tyson? Welcome to the
Exactly.
room. But for those of you who are coming into the room, thank you so much. It wasn't that much of hindrance tonight. It really wasn't. But for those of you who don't know who I am Valerie Miller of TVM, the Valerie Miller. Also, double fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. You can change anytime you feel like it. It's just a matter of making a decision and committing to that decision. It's just that easy. Just like it is for Sileta, our guest tonight. We're author to author. Going to tell us all about it when it comes to getting over him in an hour. It is real.
Yes.
It can be done. You just need to accept the fact, let go, let God, all that good stuff is facts
Amen.
to it. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Sileta, the poet. We connected due to her poetry, and it's phenomenal. But we're not talking about the poetry tonight. She's going to make mention of it because she has some things that's going to be coming out in regards to her poetry. So it's a great night for you all to come in and take note. And I'm going to say, go ahead and share this live now. Share it. If you're not,
Yes, guys, share it with your friends.
share it with
Sorry.
everybody because everybody's not privileged to be on. You can chime in anytime, but you're going to have your chance to talk. Hold tight. Hold on. And then the thing is, share this. This is information. It's all about sharing news and awareness of things. Anything that can make you greater, why wouldn't you? There's somebody on your page right now that could very well use the information that we're going to be discussing tonight. So let's not be stingy or selfish. Sparrows, share this live. If you're not catching when I'm coming on, be sure to do that also. Follow me, turn on that notification so you're aware of when I'm coming on with all this juiciness. It's more to being a conscious coach, it's more to being an author. I bring awareness and I connect with fabulous people like Sileta, and I bring them to you with juice. So share it, okay? Lots of likes and loves. It's something you can resonate with. Go crazy on the likes and loves. That's simple. That's all I'm going to say for now because I'm going to turn it over to Sileta. And that's all I'm going to say. Go for it, doll.
Okay. Well, hey guys, thank you all for coming on tonight. I see my Aunt Lana is in the room. Hey, Auntie Lana, thanks for joining. I see Tamika, some names, Simone, Veneer. I see all of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So yeah, Valerie, you touched on the topic of the book. It's not how to get over him in an hour, but it is get over him in an hour. It's almost like I'm telling you, get over him in an hour. It's not how you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. And the reason you gotta do it is because for one, more than likely, if you need to get rid of that person, then they're not even worth the time. You've already wasted time in the relationship with them. So you
Mm-hmm.
now got to get over it. And for a lot of people who are going to be reading the book, chances are by the time you get the book lands in your hands, you've already spent too much time crying over it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You've gained weight because of it. You've lost weight
Never.
because of it. You missed hours at work. Your performance went down. You're losing out. So you really only got an hour left to get over it. So it's a command, like get over him in an hour, because originally I was gonna call it get over him in an hour because you've got, and I'm gonna say stuff, but it was really that curse word, the S. And then I started
Yeah.
changing my life a bit. So
Yeah.
I had to change it, but I love the new subtitle, which is For Such a Time as This.
Perfect.
Because for such a time as this is so critical. I feel like a lot of us are in a transition phase. We're going through a transition, and we have to cross over into that higher self, or that next dimension, that next level. And it's different. It's things like a bad relationship or a breakup that stops you from missing that turn where you were supposed to go to the next level. You were supposed to get that
Absolutely.
promotion, but because this happened to you, you now have to deal with this, and you've got to get over it so that you can move on, because everything else in your life is bigger than this one thing that you're suffering from. So that's what that title means, get over him in an hour. So Valerie, I know you mentioned I'm going to share with them how to get over him in an hour, but one of the things I wanted to make sure that I did not do
What?
in this book was come up with here are 10 steps to do this, 10 steps to do
One, two,
that.
three,
I'll share
four, five.
something quickly
Yeah.
with you. Yes, I made sure I didn't do that because I know of this young lady. She was putting together like a financial planning thingy for someone. And she was sending out these kits, and she was like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, well, let me have a look at it. And when I looked at it, it was like, yeah, so it was, there was going to be little interaction with her and the people. And she was giving them this kit, and this is how you're going to fix your financial situation. So I said, sweetheart, what, you're going to meet people at different levels in their financial lives. That's so ridiculous.
True.
So for me to give
True.
you guys a 10 step, it doesn't make sense, because there are people who are going to be reading it who they're trying to get over a 10-year marriage or a 20-year marriage, or
Not the
someone who's trying
same.
to get over their first breakup, or someone who has kids and they're running from a domestic situation, domestic violence. So
Right.
people come, they're going through different situations, and they're coming from different walks of life. They're coming from
Yeah.
different cultures. There's some cultures where I can't just tell you to get over him in an hour. If you like the fact that when a man hits you, you feel that that's a sign of love.
Well,
That's big in Caribbean culture, unfortunately, and many other cultures too. Okay, so I can't just come on and tell you this. These are the steps, and you're good to go. The only thing I can do is try to get in your mind a little bit and try to get you to realize that you're worth more than the situation you're currently dealing with.
absolutely. That's the
So,
consciousness of the mindset of where the individual is in their life. It's sculpting and having conversation, just pointing out things that how it was with you and what you had to do in your life in that present moment to say, I had to decide to let this go in an hour because I don't have time. I've given you opportunity. It's been miserable fails, hun. So with miserable fails, what else is there left to do other than snap out of it right now? And with you saying that, it's proof in that. I can attest to everything that you're saying right now. I promise you I can. Been there and done it, and having to live and making decisions for yourself that affects your life and what your tomorrows look like. Who's got time to be lying around on the couch eating a pint of ice cream over you? Child, I think
it ain't
not.
worth it.
I think not. I totally think not. I'm going to take a bath, probably go and put on something cute and fancy, and I'm out. I've got to do what I got to do now because you are now past A.
Exactly.
Girl, go.
Exactly. So,
Say what you need to
so
say. Go, because you're in my
No,
avenue right now. I don't
no, but
believe in
you
hanging
know,
there.
you're so right though. You're so right. And you know, if I were to, again, I made sure that I steered away from giving steps. But if I
Mhm.
were to put it in steps, and these are some of the things that you'll, those of you reading the book, you're going to find throughout the book. One of the things I emphasize on, know thyself. If I were to give a step, the first step would be to know thyself. This is like kind of like OJ. If I did it, this is how I did it. So if I did put steps in the
Stop.
book, these are the steps. Okay. The first step is know thyself, because if you don't know yourself, then you have no business being in a relationship in the first place. You have no business trying to get somebody to figure you out because you haven't
You
even
don't.
figured yourself out.
You're
So
not
that's the first
qualified.
thing that you want to, exactly, you want to. So the next thing is love yourself. You have to
Hmm.
fall in love with yourself first. A lot of people want people to love them. You know, oh, you love me and this, but do you love yourself first?
Exactly.
Because you have to first love yourself, and then then you will know too how someone should love you, and you're gonna be the first example. This is how you love me. I take care of myself. I get my nails done. I get my this done. I do that. I do. So you have to first love yourself. So know
Yeah.
thyself. Love yourself. Another important thing too is, and throughout the book I discuss it, because God is within us, and you have to know
Hmm.
yourself, but you have to know the God within you, and you need, your first relationship should be a relationship with God. When
Amen.
you get that relationship right, and if you're on here watching, and I'm sorry, and you're atheist, so I'm sorry, but it's so important. You got to get your relationship with God first. That's your first relationship. When you get that first relationship right, everything else lines up. And I'm not just talking
It
about
does.
relationships, but everything
Everything.
else in your life starts to line
Everything.
up. And notice I said the God within you, the God within you. So you need to
Yes.
address that. You have no business trying to get to know somebody else until you know yourself. So
Thank
know
you.
thyself, love thyself, and know the God within you. And be true to thyself.
Yes.
Be true to yourself, because some of you stay in situations and you're like, and then you settle because you're not being true to yourself. So
That's
that those, if I did it, that's how I did it. Those were the steps.
and that's enough, because when you get just speaking on God, or shall I say your higher power, you may not call him God, you may call him whatever it is for you. As long as you tap into that space, that's the whole point of consciousness. This is every Wisdom Wednesday. Consciousness is your spirit. We all have the Holy Spirit within us, the Trinity, God, Son, Holy Spirit. We're
Amen.
part of that three. So when you do that, that means you've aligned yourself with Him. That's what that is. Consciousness is spirit, period. So once
Yes.
you're there and you know who you are, and as Baby was saying, if you're in a relationship and you don't even know who you are, you're not qualified to be in a relationship. You need to really reassess yourself and take yourself out of that space and take your little tush on over to Isolation Island. Discover who you are,
Yes.
and then you can, when it's time to leave the island, then you can consider a relationship. That's why I love this so much, because it's all
Absolutely.
about it's attachments. It's not so much the relationship, an attachment to somebody else to make you happy, to make you feel some kind of way. Lies that you're telling yourself.
Exactly.
It'll never
I
work.
agree.
It'll never work. I'm proud of you for putting that out the way you have,
Thank you.
and those
Thank you.
rewrites that you had to make.
Oh my God. Yes, guys, I had to for those of you who don't know, some of you might have seen that earlier this year I put the book out for release in February. And actually, no, I didn't put it out. I announced that I was releasing it. And at the time that I announced the book, at that time I said, well, God, I'm going to release this. I want you to bless it. What do you think about it? And God says, now you want to talk to me about this. Now you want to ask me what I think. And it was at that point where he said, if I were to approve this, this is what I would have you do with it. This is because originally it was a bashing, like, oh, let me just bash these. They broke my heart. And I'm just gonna, no. He's like, that's not the quality of work. I didn't give you the scribal anointing to go ahead and write something like that. I want you to write it, and now I'm going to put purpose behind it. So, and some of you listening might be like, what is she talking about? God spoke to her. You mean like you audibly heard him? And this is why I said, know the God within you, because when you know the God within you, you understand how he's speaking to you. You know how he connects with you. And some of you may call it instinct. Your instinct. This is what, I felt in the spirit, or this is what I heard, or whatever. You have to know that higher self, that you have to know what's going on inside of you. So this is why it's so important to connect with yourself. And so he said to me, and I don't know if Miss Desiree is still on here, because we spoke about this a bit when in her interview when we did a sit down. But one of the things he said to me, I'm going to put purpose behind this. I'm going to give you instructions, and I'm going to tell you what to write, and I'm going to teach you things, and I'm going to show you that you think you're 100% healed, but now you got to go through, you got to revisit some stuff that you went through. To realize that you yourself, honey, are not even healed. You got to go through healing, and you're going to get healed while you're going through this book. But he also gave me eight specific sufferings that he wants his daughters to be healed from, and I address those things in this book. So there are 8 chapters. And so there's more purpose behind it and more structure behind it than originally. So I'm so happy I waited. I'm so happy I obeyed. I'm so happy I stepped back and rewrote it. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get it into the hands of those who need it. Even if you're in a great relationship right now. I mean, it's still, there's still so much to learn from it and to take from it. I don't believe, the last thing I wanted to do is to start pointing fingers and say, you leave your man, no. This is the last thing I wanted to do, because some relationships, you know, when you're going through stuff, I think you yourself, Valerie, I was listening to one of your sessions, and I think you mentioned, you know, working on it and making it, is it worth working on, or what have you. I think it's important for you to know when it's worth working on, but there are some situations, and I'm not afraid to call them out. When domestic violence is present, you need to walk away. Don't question it. Walk away from it. Bye-bye. And keep it moving.
Yeah.
And that there's no question around it. Not only that, non-committal relationships where the men constantly cheat. Don't question it. Walk away from it, because here's another thing, and this is, I don't want to point out any race or anything, but HIV, 44% of new infections, the Black community, okay, those are the ones who are responsible for 44% of new infections, and that's ridiculous. It's time to start taking better care of ourselves and making better decisions for ourselves. I mean, just period.
That's where.
So I mean, it's not a joke.
Your life is worth living and keeping, and how dare you play Russian roulette with it? It's not even yours.
So like you done read my book, Valerie.
There are words. I will say in a minute, I love me so much to the point to where you don't deserve to hurt me. You don't have the right to hurt me unless I allow it. And the only way I'm going to allow that is when I don't know who I am, when I disrespect myself for keeping you around. It's not about you disrespecting me. I have done it to myself if you continue to hang around and in my life. And the moment you show me who you really are, okay, there's so much to forgiveness. However, you have to draw that fine line in the sand and say, you know what, you've done way too much. I'm not allowing this anymore. Smooches, take care of yourself. It's been real. I thank you so much for being a part of my life for the period of time that you have been. However, I love me so much, I'm releasing you. I'm releasing you back to yourself. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I mean, telepathic, don't even do it. Don't think about me, call me, text me, email me. Don't pray to God about this. I need you to go. I need you to go. Seriously, real talk.
Yes.
Hi, the angel, sweetheart. I see you in the room. Thank you for coming in. And this is a juicy. For those of you who have not heard me in the beginning, please do yourself a favor to gift someone a post-Christmas by forwarding this live. It's that juicy. It's time to take back your lives. Stop playing with it. No one man or woman is worth it. not when you're compromising yourself, your happiness, your self-care. When you're balled up on the couch crying over
Mm.
somebody and what they've done to you, get the mirror, look in it, pull up your bootstraps, and get over it. Get up off the couch, move on, turn the page. They are not worth that for you to waste time. It only moves forward, it doesn't stop, it doesn't pause. So why are you?
Amen.
Life is to
I
be lived. Get over it. It's almost a brand new year. Reassess yourself and your relationships. Some
Yes,
of
this is
them
that time.
is the season's over for many of them. You know it. I don't have to say anything. Salita doesn't have to say anything. It's done. Why are
No,
you carrying drama into your brand new year? Not. Okay, I've ranted enough.
no, you're right. I absolutely agree with it. It's and that's
Yeah.
why I mean I know some people reading the title might say, it's ridiculous. An hour you can't get over it in an hour. But like I said,
Yeah, you
chances
can.
are, chan- you can do bad all by yourself.
Thank you.
Exactly. But chances are and you mentioned earlier, don't pray about it no more. You've prayed about it, you've cried about it, you just went through the most over it, and it's time to move on. And like, how long are you gonna mourn over this situation? How long are you gonna deal with it? How long are you gonna keep allowing someone to put their hands on you? How long are
Right.
you gonna keep allowing somebody to just dictate how far up you're gonna go in life? How long are you gonna do it? Because this is your life. And the person that you choose to be partnered with is someone that you're saying, we are going to share our life experiences together. And so if you're settling for this person who you guys don't have the same goal, the same vision, it don't even have to be the same, but when you're looking at what they're contributing as far as life experience and you're saying me,
Okay.
then you come on, you got to make a change.
That's it.
Pausing a little
That's
bit. I'm
it.
sorry. I don't know
Don't
if I'm freezing
apologize.
up.
Don't apologize. You just needed a
Mhm.
brief pause just to catch up to yourself.
Yes, I mean,
You
I
had to
talk
catch
fast.
up.
Sorry.
Because this is one of those topics, like for me, oh, it
Cleanse your space. Mm. Cleanse
you're
your
too
space.
important. You are too important. In life, we don't know how much of it we have. So many people say life is too short or gone too soon. Personally,
Exactly.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it, and I'll never sign on to it because the thing is, life is to be lived to the best of your ability every single day. And if you live it as if it was your actual last, then you won't have these dramas in your present. Also, with that, we don't know how much time we have. We don't. We're here today and gone tomorrow. That's not a gone too soon. That's called expiration. We all have one. We have a birthday and then we have an expiration. We
Amen.
don't know when it is. So why would you compromise your living with unnecessary stress and pain, anguish, all of these things? We get them automatically. So why would you inflict it intentionally on yourself because you don't want to be by yourself? Nuts.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm so happy, Valerie, that you mentioned that. I don't remember which scripture it is, but I do mention it in the book. Lord, teach me the brevity of life.
Yes.
And it's so important for us to understand how, and it's like, yes, life, people, we say that life is short. And really, if you live a rich and fulfilling experience, it's not so much that it's short. It's only short when you're not really living it. But when
There it
you
is.
realize that what Valerie said, that you have a start date and you have an end date, what are you doing in between? If you have somebody that's killing you and taking your life and stopping you from really living a fulfilling life, then
Right.
you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing
Yeah.
yourself a disservice. You really got to make it's so important for us as women to make better choices, because you know what? When men are making their choices, they're very picky. They're
Mm.
very picky.
Yes.
So why do we settle for any and anything? Why would we settle for someone who's mistreating us, who's just doing the minimum? Why do we do that? Because men are picky. I don't know if Vanier is still on here or any men I have on here, but men can
There
attest
is
to it.
some men on here. I
They
saw.
are picky. They want their women to look a certain way, walk a certain way, talk a certain way,
Right.
smell a certain way. They're
Right.
very picky. But
Right.
I feel like women settle. And
Some women.
why, I don't
Some women.
understand.
We'll say
Some,
some.
yeah, sorry, some women are picky, and it's time to stop it. So 2019, no more settling, no more settling. And let me rephrase that. I just said some women are, Vanier said, he's laughing. We need to be pickier, women. We need to be pickier. So you need to, I'm not saying be all, oh, he has to be this, because I spoke about this too. It's not that he has the little things, get rid of that. He
Petty
has to
stuff.
be
That's
what the
petty.
petty stuff. Thank you. Because as you get older, you realize that those things don't matter.
They
But the
don't.
things that really matter, come on. Yes, Veneer, we know women are complicated.
Some
Women are,
women. But there. Some.
but we
And
ought to
there are
be. We
some
need
of
to
us who
be.
know exactly what we want. And those of us who know exactly what we want, there will be no settling. There is none. Because what you're talking
Mhm.
about, what we're doing in between the birthday and the expiration date, it's the dash. It's the actual dash. And how are you living your dash? It's the dash.
Exactly, exactly. Hey, that goes both
It goes
ways.
both ways. That's right. You're
You know
right,
what? It goes
Carol.
both ways. I just feel like women sometimes, and as you know, as Valerie said, I feel like sometimes we settle a lot in these situations, and we don't go for what we not always, but some of us miss that mark, and it has to do with
Yeah.
it has to do with self-esteem,
Yes. Confidence.
confidence,
Yes.
believing that we don't deserve more. And in the book, there's a chapter, I think the fifth chapter is
Hmm.
dedicated, and it's not, again, just, it's not bashing men at all. The
No.
fifth chapter, it's called, for each chapter, I write a letter to each of the women, and it's to the woman in the wrong. And the woman in the wrong, I have a lot to say to her. There are a lot of women out there who we really
Yeah.
got to get it together.
Yeah.
I hate when I hear women saying this. I need a man with the abs. He has to have X amount of money, this and that. But
Right.
she don't have herself in order. She
No.
not in shape, but she want the guy with
No.
the abs. Okay? She want the rich guy, and her net worth is like negative, I don't know how much.
Yes.
So I think too, you gotta get yourself in order. But just to the women in the wrong, men are not the only one who cheat. So there might be a woman dealing, she can't get over him because he moved on, because she's the one that messed up, or who messed up,
Broken.
who's broken. And to the
Yeah.
woman in the
Broken.
wrong too, the woman that's holding on to somebody's husband. I spoke about that one too, and that's the person that she needs to let go. I'm not going to sit on that topic for
Yeah.
too long,
Yeah.
but that's a Vanessa, now you're talking. Now you're talking. But seriously, I spoke to that,
It's
and when
real.
that part came up, I was like, God, what do you mean, right to the woman who needs to let go? So what are you talking about? I'm like, can we keep this short? And he's like, no, tell her this. And so yes, you need to love yourself, and stop settling. Stop settling. And you know what? You're gonna have to read the book for that section. But
Yes. Don't give too much of it away because
there's still
it
good
is
men out there.
real tough.
Yes,
It's
there are
real
good men
tough.
out there.
There are some very good men out here. The thing is, the women have these criteria lists, and I say it all the time. I have a vibe coming up, a vibe mixer coming up in the spring. And one of the criteria is do not ask for something that you're not capable of giving. If it's
Mhm.
not reflective, you can't bring the great credit score, you can't bring some money in the bank, you can't bring a career and a drive. Why are you expecting that? And of course, expect is one of those words that I just don't believe in. Again, the person that comes into your life is inclusive. You're including someone into your life. You need to be whole yourself. Somebody else will
Exactly.
make you whole. You come whole. And the other person is just an asset. That's a
Exactly.
catapult. It's going to push you further because you're going to complement one another. One person does not come through this knight in shining armor or this knightette or whoever it could be coming in for guys. It's not about somebody coming and doing for you. What are
To
you doing
say
for yourself? Be you, be fabulous
exactly.
365. I can't say that enough. Be happy within you. Have something to offer other than something from a checklist. Put the list away in actuality. I think you need to get rid of these lists. Write a list on yourself of how you're going to make yourself better, not what you're hoping somebody else bring to you.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Protect
I
you,
think
personal development.
thank you,
Protect you.
Celeste. I agree. It's so important. And so that's one of the things I hope that women would get, from the book, like a sense
They
of,
will.
wait a minute. let me look at myself a bit. Let me, you know, and but not only that, I really want women to realize, and I think it was mentioned earlier. I was trying to, I don't know how it works, but one of the things I want women to really understand is there are more good men out there than we are led to believe.
Exactly.
I feel though that those are the ones that the women overlook. Oh, he was too nice. He
He was
was too
too
sweet.
short. He was just,
To this, to that. And those are the ones that the women overlook. And you keep attracting. Let me tell you something. If you keep, there's a saying, I don't know who said it, that we attract what we are. I don't 100% believe in it, but there is some truth to it. We tend to attract what we are. So you need to start
yeah,
asking yourself, why am I attracted to the aggressive ones, the ones that are who are quick to lift their hands to hit me, or the ones who are quick tempered? Why do I attract that? So it's time to know thyself.
yes,
Start knowing thyself. So you're gonna find when you,
yes,
I mean, even when you dress differently, you will find that, hey, I attract a different type of man to me because I started dressing this way. Whereas when I dressed this way, I
right.
got the guys that was like, hey, you know, like, I can't even talk, I can't even do it. But I attract a certain type of guy. So a relationship is 50-50, and you have to communicate with one another. That's what, yes.
Hmm. Actually, it's
I
a hundred,
definitely
a hundred. It's a hundred, a hundred, Jerome. Because if you bring in half and half, that makes 100. But if we bring 100, 100, that's 200. You throw God in the middle and the front of that, then that's what you call completion. That
Hmm,
is a
that's interesting.
whole, it's a process. It is. And you know, it's been so much going on in life to where there are quite a few of us out here who are afraid to, I mean, you're in the relationship, but you're afraid to give all of yourself. If you can't commit who you are and that person accepts you for who you are, then you're in the wrong relationship. You should never give half of you. If you can't fall forward and be nuts in love all the time, you're in the wrong relationship. And
I
that's a
agree.
sign. It's a sign that that's a settle place also. I don't want to give too much of myself because of what somebody's done. Thank you, Jerome.
Okay, 100. Keep it 100.
It's important. I mean, know yourself so much. Know yourself so well that you want that other person that enter your life to be everything you've imagined that person to be. If you continue, like Sileta said, if you're getting the same repetitive situation over and over and over because you're broken, you haven't healed yet, you haven't accepted the fact that you're attracting this person into your life, and yeah, it is your fault. I just said it. It's your fault. You get more of the same because you haven't done anything to change the narrative.
You haven't
Until
done a
you
thing.
change it, you're going to keep getting it.
I
So that's the
agree.
whole point.
Make
Please
sure, guys.
just
The
buy the
woman.
book, read it. And while you're reading it, go over to Isolation Island and read it. Go over there. So you're not putting yourself in any position to be with anybody that you're not even prepared for. You're going to start unveiling and seeing that you're not ready for a relationship, although you're in one.
Yes, a lot of people need to. And one of the things you said earlier, Valerie, too, was you touched on changing yourselves. And I feel like a lot of people, not just women, it just so happened that we're talking to women though, but a
Yes.
lot of people feel that they can go in and change people. That's the
No,
worst thing you could ever do. You can't change people. You
no.
should never try to change someone and say, maybe do this. No, you need to accept people for who
Who
they
they,
are and what they are. When they show you who they are, accept it, believe them, and keep it moving.
yeah.
Stop trying to change people. You're doing yourself a disservice because
Oh,
we are who we are. And guess what? We're the only people, only we can change ourselves. You have
right.
to work on yourself. Change yourself. And if this story is not a story you want to be in, then change it. Get out.
It
Get out of the story. But
changes.
let that person be, because they will change when they need to change, if they need to change, if they feel they need to change. And that's not your
Right.
job. The only person you can change is yourself.
That's it. Because the
Okay,
change
that's
that you're wanting someone else to make for you is the change that you need to make in yourself. You can't put that responsibility on somebody else. And that's an easy way to attach yourself to the wrong person,
yeah.
also, because you're so busy looking for somebody to fill that void when you are your own void. You get in your own way. So step aside, lay on your face, pray, and listen to the answers that you get. It's so much chaos going on in life for most
Yes.
of us, to where you feel like, you know what, God isn't talking to me. Lies. He is talking to you. You just have so much going on to where you can't hear him. You
Yep.
can't hear him. Therefore, you make decisions that's impromptu in the moment that causes you to continue to get setbacks. And then sometimes you get
Wow.
the setbacks and it becomes a snowball effect. And then you just want to throw your hands up because, well, this is just how it is. I'm just going to roll with it. Don't do that. You're so much more valuable than you give yourself credit for. It's time to have a confidence check. It's time to boost up your own self-esteem. And why is it so low? That's where settle comes from, because you have some damage that needs to be repaired. It's one of those types of things. Mirror moments. I can't say it enough. Have constant mirror moments.
I'm trying to read what Jerome wrote.
What do you
If
have,
you're in a,
Jerome?
I'll read it out. If you're in a relationship and they have small kids and you've been there for them, and once they grow up and start disrespecting you, and their mother don't do or say anything to them, what are you supposed to do in that situation?
Talk to the
Um,
mother.
but yeah, that's something to to handle when it comes to the mother. And you know, to be honest with you, Jerome, one of the things, and I see that's not something that I spoke to specifically in the book. And the book is more focused on women who are dealing with domestic violence situations, even things like generational curses, and you
Right.
don't even realize that you have that going on. And the spiritual aspect of it, like some people have soul ties. You don't
Mm-hmm.
even,
Mm-hmm.
and these are words that a lot of people don't even realize. And I speak
Yeah.
about those things: soul
Yeah.
ties, generational curses, strongholds, and
Right.
it goes deeper. And I'm telling you guys, not to get scriptural, but I can't help it. I can't help it. Hosea 4, I think it was 4 verses 6 says, "My people suffer for lack of knowledge." And so
Right.
when you don't even know that you're in a war and what you're really, really fighting and what you're really, really up against, then you are fighting blindfold.
Yeah.
And you're setting up yourself for a loss. And so,
Mm.
Jerome, I don't know what to say to that specific situation, domestic
I have something to say about it.
violence situation,
Mm-hmm.
situations like that, and situations where there's no question that you have to get out of it. You have to get out, and you have to get out of it now. And so that's mainly what I spoke about, that urgency where you have to leave because it's life threatening. Not only that, there's some women that I know that they're gonna pick up the book and they're about to go into a transition, okay, and they're on the cusp of that change, but they're about to miss it because they don't realize what's going on. And so the spiritual aspect of it is a major part of it. And I'm talking about, you got to go into some prayer and fasting to really fight what you have going on in your atmosphere. Some of these men that they're fighting with, they don't even realize that it's more demonic than anything too, what they're
Right.
up against. So those are
Right.
some of the things I speak to. But
Well,
Jerome, yeah, you got to talk to the mama about that. You got to
it's
talk to the
mom.
mama.
It's mom. And I'll say this, Jerome, coming from a conscious standpoint, when you're in a relationship, it's a choice that you make going into a relationship when there are children involved, because it's going to be a completely different type of relationship, if they're younger children. However, it's not something that started yesterday. This disrespect probably started from the beginning and you just brushed it off, did nothing about that. If I'm correct, okay. If I'm not, correct me. However, it's not something that happens instantaneously. It's not that. You have to have open communication and dialogue with the mother going into the relationship. Like, what is your point in that? Also, what is the growth level for an expectation to move into this relationship? What's the end result? Is this somebody you're planning on going toward the altar with? So you need to know where you stand with this. Where's the father? What's your role in this relationship when it comes to the children? But when it comes to disrespect, nobody wants that. And it really puts a strain on the relationship that's not necessary. And things like that also pushes the man away, to where it's going to push you to some place you may want to meet somebody different because change hasn't taken place. So before this turns into some downward spiral that's going to put you in a position Talk to mom sooner than later and rectify this. See where you stand in it and be true
Okay.
to yourself. Be true to
Keep them in
yourself.
a relationship. I agree, Jerome. He wrote, it gets to a point where you're fighting with them. The Bible says once you become one, you're supposed to stand by your husband. And
Yeah.
yes, I definitely agree with keeping those voices out of your relationship, because
Yes.
you have to realize not everybody giving you advice on your relationship means well for your relationship. Some of them
Exactly.
have issues themselves that they need to work on. And so,
Yeah.
yes, you got to put God first. You got to speak to God first. Keep as much people, I say get help, but keep as much people as you can out of your relationship.
Exactly.
Minimize those voices and those people that you're letting in, because they will destroy your relationship,
They
if
will.
anything.
They will. That's why
So,
you take it back to the conversation jar. Jerome, we've talked about the conversation jar, and that's intentionally for relationships that want to be better, that's moving towards something that's grand. Have the conversation jar, put it in a mutual space in your home every week, whatever night of the week you choose to have the conversation with your mate. Do that. And when you do that, it rectifies all of the problems that you have because you are consciously putting forth effort to fix it. And that way you're not doing and adding anybody new into the mix of what your relationship is. It's you, it's her, and God. You're praying over your relationship all the time. And this
yeah.
is how you're going to know how you can rectify. And by you saying this, you say you were married for 22 years to this woman, and that's what happened. I moved on. So this is your ex-wife. So the lessons that you've learned in that space is preventative of what to accept in your new relationships. We don't want repeats of the same thing.
Oh,
And
God.
after 22 years, it's heartbreaking to have
Mm.
to let go of 22 years. However, you never know. When it happens, it happens.
I'm sorry to hear that,
Yeah,
Jerome. But as you said, I think it's very important that we take the knowledge and the lessons and things that we learned and
right.
take it with us into the new the new relationship, the new direction that we're going in. I think that's where a lot of us go wrong too. We go through this situation and then we meet it again. You went through it, so you recognize it, but then you deny it. Like, okay, this is not happening, all over again. And you go through the same thing, and it's a cycle. It's a
Yeah,
repeat cycle. And
yeah.
you keep going through it and going. So you're gonna keep going through it until you learn the lesson. And Jerome, I don't know if this is necessarily a lesson for you. It might be for her. She might need to learn, hey, maybe I need, if I'm going to make this man the father, I need to give him some authority to speak over these, children. I'm not saying, I don't believe in a woman letting a man coming in and abusing. Like, there's certain things that you just don't allow. You have to put your foot down on. But yes, the man should have some say over the child. But you have a bottom line. You will not accept
Yeah.
one should not. Yes, I agree
You're
with
right,
that.
Bridget. You're right, Bridget.
Yes, Celeste. No, no
Jerome,
offense.
were these your children? You said in your marriage, you were married for 22 years, but were those your children in the marriage, or were they there upon marriage before? So it's some key things to look at with that dynamic. However, you said you moved on in the end, so gavel down when it comes to that. So I applaud you for, having enough respect for yourself to not accept disrespect. That's really vital. And it's been some great things, some comments that came through. Those were not your kids. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations on your move forward. I will say that. And it's
Yeah.
clarity. Life is beautiful. Make sure it stay that way.
Yeah, that's definitely a good advice. Make sure
Yeah.
it stays that way.
I love happy. Happy feels good. I sleep at night. Be happy. And somebody starts stealing on tap dancing on your joy and you're swinging
Mm,
left more than you need to, it's an assessment time. It's time to reevaluate some things. Because there are times we can stay too long. And when we stay too
yeah,
long,
yeah,
it's disrespect to self. And I'm excited
exactly.
about your book.
Yeah,
I am.
seriously,
One
you can
chapter wasn't enough.
always.
Trust yourself always. K Celeste, yes.
Yeah,
Always is key.
I agree with that.
Always.
I'm
Nobody
going
is
to drop.
for that. What are you saying?
I'm I'm gonna drop the link also for those of you on here. I will share the link with you as well to the first chapter.
Okay.
Can't share the whole book, obviously, but I'll share the link
No,
to
that's a
chapter 1.
purchase. It's
Huh?
juicy. I said that's a purchase. It's really juicy. I just love the fact how you write the letter for each chapter, to the person
Yes,
that is
I wrote.
pertaining to.
Yes, I sent everyone a letter. I'm trying to make sure the link I drop is the right link. Next thing I know. But I definitely wanted to I share the first chapter. At the end of it, there is a link for pre-orders, guys. If you are interested in pre-ordering it for a signed copy, there is a link on there. The Amazon version goes live on the 1st, the Amazon version. But
Perfect.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
It's great. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful that we've met, and we won't say a whole lot. We're figuring out how
I'm
we're going to
excited
connect this thing.
too. And guys, Miss Valerie is an author as well. I know this is not
Yeah.
about your stuff, Valerie, but
It's always about my stuff.
It's okay. It's always about Valerie. It comes back to Valerie because this is her show. But I purchased her book. Since I got her book, I even had to gift it to a friend of mine who was dealing with something that Valerie was, dealing with in this book.
Yeah.
And so I was happy to even be able to say, hey, I know the book for you, and to get it out there too. She's an author as well. How I Became Fabulous, and the
Yeah.
lady all the time. So this was definitely great. I'm not done yet, Valerie. I'm
Thank
still
you.
reading. But
Take it all in.
yes, I'll finish it up soon. But
And thank
definitely a great read as well.
you for that.
Hmm?
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
For reading it, because like I told you, I had no intention of ever publishing that book. I didn't. However, once I was led to do it, I'm grateful that I did, because it changed a lot of lives that I never knew that it would affect them the way it did. And with that being,
Jerome, I'm gonna address what you just said in a second.
what did he say? Okay, but the thing is, it's more pieces to that puzzle. It's 3 books that's in alignment with that. And being a lady all the time is very important. You have to be not out of character. You're more effective when you're in character. Because when somebody pushes you to the point to where you're out of character, that's when you just lost yourself. You've lost yourself. So when I say be a lady all the time, I mean be a lady or a man all the time. Nobody should have the right. Don't give them your power that way. Do not do that. So just know that part 2 is coming out in February. It's still a house.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, I am.
I'm excited about
graciously, consciously, and that's being brave, that's being bold, and being fierce. And it's some strong points behind those 3 subtitles there. So you think that one was juicy. You just wait when we start talking about accepting who we are and where we are at present. So yeah, hold tight. That's a whole nother day.
yes.
It's about you today.
I can't wait. And you said something else, something just now to Valerie, and I'm going to get to you, Jerome. But you said something, Valerie, about being a lady all the time. And I think to a lot of us women and men, but again, we're talking to the women. I'm still going to get to you, Jerome. But one of the things you just said about being a lady all the time, a lot of us, we hear about IQ, intelligence quotient, but we got to work on our EQ.
Yeah.
Our emotional quotient. We got to know how to handle ourselves when it comes to our emotions. You know what? I was speaking to a friend today. So Celeste, she's on here, and she was saying, she was like, Sileta, I'm going through some photos when you were going through this period when my mom passed away. And it was just the lowest point in my life. I was so devastated. And she said, I'm looking at your pictures and you're on the beach and you're having a grand time, and nobody knows that inside a part of you has died. Nobody knows that you went through this. Nobody knows that you went through that. And it was your lowest point because you were, I guess I would say you are a lady all the time in that situation. And so it's so important. I'm not saying, because one of the things I spoke to in the book was the stages of grief. And so
Oh yeah.
we go through grief. But I'm telling you, a lot of you might not realize it. You have went through those stages and you're going over it and over it. And guess what?
Yes.
The man moved on. 2 years
Yes.
have passed. 10 years have passed. He started a new life, a new family. You're still stalking that woman's page. You're looking at the children and talking about how
Crazy.
they're ugly, this and that. You
Crazy.
need to move on because your life is held up because you haven't moved on and you're still going through it and you're still hurt over it. You're still having nightmares over it. And enough is enough. You got to get it, keep it moving. Now,
Exactly.
but it being unfair, you have no business going into another relationship if you're going to go in there and you can't give your 100. This goes back to what Valerie said earlier. The same thing for women.
Right.
Stop moving on and jumping in another relationship if you have not spent that time in isolation and worked on it. You're not
Yes.
ready then. A sign that you're ready is when you're no longer whimpering over it. Okay, so, and one of the things I spoke about in the book, I'll try to talk a little bit slower. One of the things I spoke about in the book is the difference between a wound and a scar. The
Yes.
wound means that you still have an open sore that needs to be stitched up, that
Yes.
needs to be treated. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
take care of that wound. When you have a scar, the scar is some symbolic of healing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're not going to walk around with scars, but the scar means it's already healed, and so you're good to go. So you need to get
Yes.
to the point where you have that little scar, and you're going to say, okay, this is a reminder that I went through that, so I'm not going to go ahead and go in that situation again. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you have an open wound, it's not the time to go into a new relationship because it's unfair. And a lot of women do this too. They go
Yes.
into a relationship, oh, he put me through this and he put me through that. And so you throw all this weight onto the man and he doesn't want to deal with it. It's not his responsibility to heal you. It's not his responsibility to stitch up your wounds. You gotta
No.
get help. You gotta take care of yourself. And isolation, as Valerie suggested earlier, that's your time to do it. The time
Yes.
to go through to get help is not jumping from one relationship right into the next one. Get help.
That's when you become a bag lady. And I talked about this um last week, being a bag lady. And that was on Matters of the Heart Monday. It wasn't on Wisdom Wednesday. Matters of the Heart Monday. You're a bag lady when you are carrying around a whole bunch of things yourself. Then you jump into a relationship and you take on all the things that he's dealing with also. You wear yourself down so much.
Mm,
That's when snap come into place. Angry, the B word that other people may address you as. And it's simply because you haven't taken care of yourself. You haven't accepted things that are. You're stalking, like Sileta was saying. You're dealing with situations that you have no business dealing with. Cut it out. Restore yourself. Be responsible in that space. Anyone that comes into my life, like right now, I'll tell them in a minute, oh no, honey, I'm on II. And they'll say, well, what's that? Isolation Island. Then they don't understand what is Isolation Island. I have to break it down like a kindergartner. That's how well I explain it. And so, therefore, at the end of the day, I'm unavailable to you. However, I really appreciate you for extending an offer. I'm not prepared. I'm not ready for you. So, and they said, well, you know what? We can still go out. We can still hang out. No, that equates to Mr. Right Now. And you know, I have a book. If you read this book, then you'll understand where I am
mm.
and where I've been in order for you to be prepared of where I'm going. If you're not prepared of where I'm going, I need to go ahead and leave you right here. I leave you here today. However, I thank you for showing interest. I'm
Exactly.
I'm not doing it. I'm not interested in you or anybody else because I'm so head over heels in love with me and who I'm becoming because of every experience that I've had. But go ahead and read this book because February 17th, the new one drops about acceptance. So that means you need to be in a place of acceptance as well to even be able to bring yourself to me. I can't take
Yes.
any old guy in my life. And I had several people to say to me, including a brother in law, Valerie, you're someone that any guy cannot step to. He
Mm,
better be strong. He better be prepared to even address you. And it's a fact. And that comes from personal development. That comes from knowing who you are, investing time and resources into yourself. My job as a conscious change coach and strategist is to introduce you to yourself because you haven't met you yet. Because when
yes.
you meet you then you will have so much respect for yourself that nobody can approach you. You're not going to be out here accepting nonsense, and your halo shine every day.
Yep.
It's your
I
covering.
agree with you.
Yes. So that's all I have to say about that because I will get on a soapbox. I will. It's no reason and no room for low self esteem. It's no room for it. Love yourself enough to get up and move, do something different.
Yes.
Otherwise, you are hashtag not qualified for a relationship until you have one with yourself. I'm serious.
I I definitely I definitely agree. You gotta have a relationship with yourself. Again, it comes back to know
Yes.
thyself, love
Yes.
thyself, be true to thyself, and have a relationship with the God within thyself. So you need to ask, the Bible says the steps of the righteous are ordered. So you
To
gotta
love.
get that relationship with God right because he will lead you to the right person. And some of you might be praying for that person, but he's not gonna if you're not ready yet. He's not going
Yes.
to lead
Yes.
you to that person because he's not going to go ahead and get this person prepared and ready to have them meet a messy situation that you might be bringing. And so hey, I'm
No.
just keeping it real. We
It's
got
not.
to all check ourselves and get ourselves ready. And I'm telling you, and discernment is so important. Jerome, I saw your last message. You can't move forward. Look, amen, amen.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
look back because you're not going that way. Don't look
Exactly.
back. So, and
Agree,
Jerome,
Jerome.
one of the things you got to ask yourself is why do I keep meeting women who are on process? And let me say this: nobody is perfect.
No.
Nobody is perfect. But I think somebody said it earlier. What are the I will not? You have to have your. These are the things I will not deal with. Period.
Deal
So
breakers.
when you know exactly when you know what your deal breakers are, then I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not saying that you're going to meet everybody's people who are just entirely perfect. Nobody out there is perfect,
Mm-mm.
so there are going to be those things where you're going to be like, okay, well, he has this going on. I'll still deal with it. Exactly. And he has, so you're still going to have things to deal with. But at the end of the day, you still got to know, you got to know yourself well enough to know that I will not deal with this. And some of you already served, and I want to say serve your jail time with some of these situations. I've already served my time with an abusive relationship. I already did my jail time. I'm not going back to jail. Hey, Junior, thanks
Incarceration
for
is
coming
real.
on. I already did
Incarceration.
this with that. And you recognize it when you meet it. I'm telling you, after I came out of and I hate talking about it, but it's chapter one. After I came out of when I was married and I came out of that situation, I'm
Hmm.
telling you, when I met the same person again, I recognized it. I was like, oh, okay, so this is the same person. Oh,
Yes.
okay, so this, and then I started recognizing it. And yes, you can call it discernment, but it's also experience. Like,
Yes.
okay, this person have a temper. I'm not dealing with that. This person has this. This is so. Do you recognize your deal breakers and
Yes.
you keep it moving? So don't lie to yourself. Don't act like be like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm gonna keep going because I'm telling you, it's gonna pop back up and you're gonna be in
Right
trouble.
in your face. Right in your face. And that's just you having to repeat the class yet again. You're going to keep taking that class. You're going to fail it with a
Over.
hard F. You're going to get an F plus until you get
I managed that jail over.
it.
Aisha, thanks for
Yes.
coming on. Aisha. And Edna, that was a good one. Like,
It's a very
yeah, you
good
gotta
one. And she's
graduate from the
motivating,
class
not
and move
kidding.
on.
It's
Graduate.
not that hard. It's not that hard. Graduate the first time. How many times do you want to take the class continuing to fail it? It's not about imagery. It's not about somebody so beautiful or somebody so fine. You got to get past that vain mentality and look for quality in individuals. And until you can pick up the quality in somebody, you're going to continue to get the losers. And it's more
Exactly.
losers than quality out here. But if you're not presenting quality, you're not going to attract it. So a lot of
Exactly.
messiness, a lot of ratchet going on. What you do in the dark, always unveil in the light. It may not be
Yeah.
today or tomorrow, 6 months, a year. It happens. So again, go back, reassess yourself, love yourself enough to know exactly what it is that you want in your life, and you can actually have it. You can. But the thing is, until you prepare yourself, make yourself greater, that guy could be out there waiting right now. He's looking, but you're not prepared. Guess what he's not
And I
going to
hope
do?
he's smart enough to
He's,
move on and don't wait forever.
he is. That's what I
I
was
hope
about
he's
to
smart enough to,
say. He's
and it
gone.
goes both ways
He's gone because
because
he met Tracy around the corner. I mean, you got to look at it for what it is. Tracy's prepared. Tracy's ready. Here you go. Still fighting the island. Stop fighting the island. Take control of your life.
sorry. Yes, you got to take control of your life. It's so
Yes,
important. And you know, one of the things too, I want to say is we are much more brilliant than we like. We are the ones who dumb ourselves down. We're
yes,
far more brilliant than we like to than, than we behave, and we were more brilliant than the decisions that we often make. One of
yes,
the things I refer to is Eric Erickson's stages of development, and I think in the first stage he talks about the baby, just the little baby, just a few months old, starts to learn who it can trust, and it
yes,
watches patterns. It's like, okay, mommy keeps bringing me the bottle. If I cry, she brings the bottle, or if this happens, so I can trust her that when I get hungry, I'm gonna get fed. So the
yes.
baby picks up patterns at just a few months.
Mm-hmm.
But we as adults, we see patterns, okay, signs which are signs of human intelligence, being able to pick up patterns, and we see patterns in this behavior. Wait a minute, okay, he's doing this, or he cheated once, he cheated twice. Okay, it's 3 times. It's a pattern. And we choose to ignore it, and we choose to like, oh, it's not what I think it is. It's just, or maybe it's me. No, start accepting
It's
things
not.
for what
Yes,
it is and start
yes,
picking up on it because you're much smarter than you're behaving and much smarter than the decisions that you're making. A lot of us. So,
exactly. And you know it. You know it. In the book, I'm not sure if you made it to that point just yet, where I talk about one strike. I have a one strike policy. And with the one strike policy, it's not a secret. And I share this freely with anybody who care to listen. One strike policy is basically I know the work I've put into myself. I know who I am. You are discovering who I am. That's what you're
mm,
doing. However, don't test me because we
mm,
all have her or him, that one we choose not to unleash so often. So there is a one strike there. When you make the strike, that's when you'll understand what the significance of that is. And I've had men to say to me in the past, well, Val, give me an example of what a one strike consists of. And my answer every single time is, you will know when you make it.
exactly.
That is your strike. And it goes back to deal breakers and what you accept for yourself. What you accept. How many times can you forgive? Forgive, yes, for things that are worthy of a forgiveness. However, if you forgive someone or you tell them exactly what you're looking for in a mate, the ideal candidate, 9 times out of 10, you know right away. He knows right away. It's nothing that you really have to sculpt or cultivate because it just is. However, when that happens, boom, you're going to try me. And when you try me, you're automatically X'd out. And it goes back, you can't call me later. And I'm so serious. And I tell them this, not even a telepathic. I constantly say it. Please don't do that because I give you every opportunity to get to know me completely. I want you to get to know me. But the minute you disrespect that, you're not serious. You're not serious. And then if I ever start pulling away from you, my mind is now changing. There's no reverse in that. You can't repair what you've already damaged. I
Mm,
forgive you and then set you free, my sparrow. It's time for you to go.
to go. And we need
It's
to learn
time to
how to let go of people, let go, forgive them and let
yes,
go. And a lot of women don't realize too, okay, women and men don't
yes,
realize that, and especially women in abusive relationships, you are
yes,
holding on to him and you're not, you holding on, you're keeping yourself from healing and you're stopping him from healing and
yes,
moving on. And you need to just let it go. If he changes, good. Keep it moving still. Let him
yes.
be a better man for somebody
For
else.
somebody else. He
Let him be
wasn't
a
for
better.
you. He wasn't for
No,
you. Or
because
she
that was in
wasn't
the
for
past.
you. That was a part of your lesson plan.
Exactly.
Accept
And
the
just
lesson plan. Get a striking A plus plus plus. Answer the bonus questions.
exactly get
Answer
your
the
extra
bonus
credit.
questions for extra credit. Because once you get there, when you meet that person, I promise you, and I'm all the way in book 3 at this point. When you meet them, you recognize each other. That's how the truth of how God work is. So many people say, God has the perfect person for me. No, he give you common sense to meet the right person along the journey, because we all have things that we've experienced in life. It's all about how we embrace the attitude of bettering ourselves because of those experiences. And
Amen.
with that happening, you don't want to settle in with somebody who still has some learning to do. Otherwise, you will become the punching bag instead of being the bag that you're dragging.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay, so let's empty the bags with personal development and uncovering
exactly.
yourself consciously. And if you
Eh,
don't know how to be you and be fabulous 365, I, honest to God, right hand to Jesus, tell you right now, come January the 8th, when I launch Be Fabulous 365, it's too many people, it's already changed their lives. The whole trajectory of their lives changed. Every pillar of your life changes in 12 weeks. And in 12 weeks, that's the first time of any of those things that you're going to deal with, because it becomes a lifestyle. And when you choose a lifestyle that's conscious and intense, then you are actually living in freedom every day.
mm.
That's
Living
that's
on
what I can say
purpose.
about that. And living on purpose. That's exactly what it is. It's such an unveiling. Going through the process myself, because if I hadn't gone through it, then I can't talk to you about it. So
Right.
these are proven truths, and it's not about a cookie cutter situation, because you will unveil some things about yourself going through these challenges. I believe in challenges, and if you overcome a challenge, then you've changed for a lifetime. You've overcome.
I definitely agree.
It's no longer a problem. And most people don't
Exactly.
embrace challenges like that.
Exactly. And that wisdom that you gain from it too is so important. You're
Right,
wiser.
right.
So, yeah.
Girl,
So,
sometimes I talk so much, I talk myself tired. I talk tired.
and you know me, I talk so my mouth go like quicker than
Our mouths move faster than our brain can spit it out.
yes, 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 yes. But yeah, I'm so happy that you guys came on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Veneer. I saw that Veneer put yep when Valerie said that there's someone out there for all of us. I think Veneer found that person. So good good for him. So
You
last yes.
recognize them. Yes. And that's when you can say, oh
Self-love.
my gosh, it's an instant thing. It's too many
Yeah.
people that live it. Nobody has perfect relationships. Nobody. Like my mom and dad met, they dated for 6 weeks and been married for 52 years.
Look at that. Look at that.
That is something. And it's not perfect. Like nobody has perfect relationships. But the advice my dad said to me, and he says it often. And in this coming book, you're going to see I had an interview with my mom and my dad in this book and the next book. And they're talking about love and relationships, and how when you commit to somebody, you commit to them. There is no option. Divorce isn't an option. So if you knew it wasn't an option, why would you get into the relationship in the first place? My dad said to me, love, the epitome of what true love is enough, because when you truly love someone, you accept everything about them and you're willing to work to stay together. You don't work to separate, you work to stay together. He said, when you meet somebody like that, then you got somebody worth keeping. That's
Worth
what he
keeping.
said.
Exactly. And when you meet somebody that's not like that, you got somebody worth throwing away and getting
Yes,
rid of and keeping it moving.
yes. And that's what he was saying with Mr. Right Now. Mr. Right Now from the first book. He's like, oh no. At the time, it was 6 years. Now I dealt with this one on and off, 7 years, but never truly committed to them. I never committed to this person.
You were the one who weren't committed?
I wasn't committed
All right, Valerie.
because he wasn't worthy of all this. I knew he wasn't. That's why, hence, Mr. Right Now. I never intended for him to be permanent.
Celeste.
Never did. So, with that being said, I fell in love with Mr. Right Now. And when you mix up a web like that, oh, MNG, all capital letters. Yeah. You got to keep reading in order to, you wait to buy book 3. But I'm just saying, but that had to come to a screeching halt.
The Mr. Right Now. Why do you think you prolonged it for 6 years? Were you being selfish? Because it sounds like you knew.
I knew, but by this time I fell in love with him. It was convenience.
Okay.
I was working on me, on stuff for myself. I was writing my books. I'm planning business. I'm doing that. He was convenient. He was a call. But the thing is, when you fall in love with someone like that, because he has good qualities, great qualities, just wasn't for me. And it was things that took place in his life and his behaviors. I knew. I had one marriage that didn't work because I had no business marrying him. It was convenience at the time. You know, I was ready to be married with that one. Read How I Became Fabulous. But
I'm gonna finish up the book. You know what I keep doing? I keep like cheating and flipping. Like, let me see what's going on here and coming back to where I am. So
it's not one of those books you can skip around into different chapters. You have to read it the first time from the beginning to the back. Then you can go back to certain chapters that kind of tug at you. But yeah, it's a story that's unexpected. It's unexpected. And when you say right now, and for me, right now was somebody until Mr. Right Now, till Mr. Permanent comes, Boaz Solomon. So when Boaz Solomon show up, then okay, thank you. But I was in a place there. And with evolvement, I realized, oh my gosh, I can't continue to do this, you know? But then it's like, it just wasn't.
So let me ask you a question, Valerie. Because I think it's quite interesting that she said it's easy to get caught up if you stop to listen. You can fall for him. You stop and listen to everyone. Ooh, that's so true. Val should post a link to her book too. Valerie Vanier says to post a link to your book as well, because this is getting juicy. Some juicy stuff. Yeah. Valerie, let me ask you a question, and then men, you can answer this too. So Valerie just mentioned that she was in a relationship with Mr. Right Now. It prolonged for 6 years. And she knew that this was not the one, but it was convenient for her. And yes, she agrees. She admits that she was selfish. Okay?
Yeah, now, it worked for me because men do this every day of the week. And I'm not saying that it's right. But the thing is, when I met him, we started out as friends. It was just friendship. But then it turned into more than that. And so to say Mr. Right Now, like, okay, I know you're not somebody I'd ever marry. He wanted to get married. I didn't want to because he had been around that block 3 times and I had no intention of being number 4. I'm nobody's 4. And so I learned so much information with my first marriage. I said, when I get married again, this is literally until death do us part. So I didn't play with that. That's where Mr. Right Now came because my focus was on my business and bettering myself. And when I can see that you're not even qualified for me, that's why I didn't commit to Mr. Unqualified. I knew he wasn't.
So to the woman out there now in that situation, because I'm listening to it and I can see how, I'm sorry, there's like notifications coming in. I can see how a woman can easily get caught in a situation with a guy and doesn't realize that she is Mrs. Right Now. And this is why I say it's so important. Guys, you see, Valerie was a perfect example, okay?
Yes.
It's so important when you're in a relationship to have discernment and to know, okay, how long are you going to entertain this? Because it don't take you too much time to really figure out. Right. You see how you mentioned your mother, it was six weeks or so they dated and they've been together for 50 years. I'm not saying don't spend time to get to know someone, but it's important for you to have that discernment, because the steps of the righteous, they're ordered by God. And so you need to have
Yeah.
that discernment to know, what is this person's role in my life? Are they playing with me? Are they
Yes.
serious? Are they going to
Yes.
waste my time while they write their book, while they build their company? By the
Yeah.
way, I'm calling you out because it's so
No,
important.
no, I'm gonna stop you. I'm
You
gonna
don't
stop
have
you there. He was doing
absolutely.
some stuff not ethical. Oh yes,
Okay.
it's reasons
Oh
behind
God.
that. It's reasons. It's
Okay.
reasons. Honey, book 3, you would get all that juice. But it's all about me going through the acceptance. It's not about
Okay.
change. He's a great person. But when you know and you have these conversations, and when you're clear about what your plan is, no different than any other guy. Hey, I'm not ready for this. This is what I'm doing. This is my focus. So to know that, granted, yeah, we fell in love with each other. However, I wasn't planning to get off my kingdom business, which is God first. And he wanted me to, like, well, we need to do this. I'm like, boo, you don't come before God. Big brother's it. So I follow his steps, his plan for my life. And with that being said, I had to make a choice. And when he's pushing me to make a choice, you will fail every time when you put yourself up against God. Seriously.
Exactly.
Seriously, that was
I
the
agree.
situation. So that's where the whole back and forth. He'll get mad, leave, meet somebody new. They want to come back to me. Your dynamic changed, not mine. I'm staying the course. Kingdom business first. And that's why he always kept the title Mr. Right Now.
Now. Okay.
He never graduated to commitment. He never graduated to inclusive 100%. So that was convenient. Yes. He knew what my plan was and he knew why. I have had one relationship, a marriage that I never thought would end. It did. That was eye opening and life changing. Who
Mm-hmm.
wants to put themselves in the position to live that experience again? Not me. So when I say I do, I will to the next one, it's until death literally do
Part.
us part. And that's
And
why
that's
take the time. Don't waste time. And I'll never say that he was a waste of time. He wasn't. I have such a PhD behind my name because of my relationship with him.
yes.
Yes, I give him kudos. He's worthy of a handwritten thank you note because of the experience and what I learned from him.
Bye, Celeste. Right,
Bye,
right.
Celeste. I'll put that link out, okay? You're going to see it in a little while. But
I
the
was
thing
trying to find
is,
it just now, but it wouldn't come up. So
on Amazon, yeah, I'll pull it in there. But the thing
yeah.
is life changing. It's a part of evolvement. We have to go through processes and things in life just like that in order to learn what we're supposed to learn moving forward into the
Yes.
next of our lives. So I can, like when I say I can give him a thank you note, I can handwrite it, I can. I learned so much about myself being involved with him that otherwise,
With him.
yeah, otherwise I never would have gained the knowledge and the wisdom that I have now unless you have the actual hands-on experience. Because everything is not about kosher and fabulous and peachy all the time.
Exactly.
Not. We have to go through those
Exactly.
things to know. But the thing is, like you were saying, discernment, yeah, pay attention to the voice. And when God say do this or don't do that, and then don't do that. Just like he say, I mean to the letter. Because when he starts showing and unveiling things about the person that is in your life, that close in your life, it's believable to the point to where when God started showing me things about him and I brought it up to him, he thought I had an investigator. Trail.
And
And when
God will show you things.
he
Once you
showed
have
me,
that relationship, He will show you things.
yeah.
So,
And that's how it was. Valerie, how do you even know that? You've been having somebody investigate me. I said, no, I got best detective.
soccer. No.
He became that in the end to me.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so that's why I say book 3. But the thing is, pay attention to the individuals that are in your life, and it's reasons why you don't commit. It's reasons why you have that person around to learn. And the things that I've learned from these guys, and it's several that I make mention of in the book, but I'm not going to give a play by play of the juice of what they meant to me and how they contributed to my life until book 3, because I had to go through the processes and accept this of acceptance now.
Right.
We're accepting.
Right.
And I love how
Right.
you've intertwined how I became fabulous and your book tonight. It
Of
makes it
course.
juicy. It makes it that much juicier because it's some true these are life experiences. We're not talking about something we heard. These are things that we've actually lived to
Exactly.
tell you about.
I if I haven't been through it, I don't want to talk about it. So
Me?
that's I don't want to write about it for sure. And
No.
so that's, you know, like I think I wrote that in the preface. If I hadn't gone through it, it wouldn't be my story to
Exactly.
tell. So, and I would have rather not, don't get me wrong, I would have rather not go through it in the first place had I listened and had I followed, and I would have rather watched it on Lifetime or something and learned from somebody else. But I didn't. I still did what I did, and I still married the person that I shouldn't have married. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the day I said yes, the minute I said yes,
You knew
somebody said,
better.
"You're gonna pay for this," and I was wondering, well, should I just go ahead and annul this real quick? But I stuck through it, and
Shouldn't
I heard the
have done
voice. You're gonna pay for this,
it. Shouldn't
and
have
I
done
paid for it.
it. But you know, we knew all along and still chose. We chose to do it, knowing that we shouldn't have done it. Because I can say the same thing about my marriage. I mean, to get married, and not just married as far as United States, I got married in Greece. So I got married twice
Nice.
on the same day in both languages
Wow.
on
Wow.
holy ground. I got married at the chapel on the holy ground where was it Peter and John, where they canoed
Mm.
in or whatever in Greece. That's where I got married on that type of holy
Wow.
ground. So
That's
I
the
was like,
amazing wedding.
what do you do? You marry somebody, and that's how serious it was. And I
Mm.
knew shouldn't have done it. The thing is, I had given up so much. I've packed, I've moved across, not state to state, but to another country
Wow.
because I believed you. But then when you get there and the person who becomes that list that we talked about, we can have lists. And then you know what? You can get that list. You can
But what
get
about
everything on
other
that
stuff
list.
that comes
But
with
then
it?
it got other things, some other things that you were not prepared to be on that list because
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. That's how fabulous he was. So good, that good to be true. He's too good to be true. He was. Because he became everything I said I wanted.
Mm.
I thought I wanted. He became that. And then one day when the real guy stood up, I didn't recognize him. And I asked him
Mm.
literally, "Who are you?" Because you're not the
Mm.
guy that I married.
Very interesting. Thanks for
Yes.
joining. Oh gosh, you guys are joining in at the end, but good to
At
see you,
the
Kate.
tail end.
Miss Ava, thanks for joining. It's good to have you guys
Yeah.
on.
Too good to miss. So you just catch the replay.
Yeah, we'll
Definitely
have
do that. And if you're going to catch the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay because we need to know that you were there and
yes,
all
drop a comment.
the later juiciness
Yes, yes.
after
This
the
was
fact. But it's so much that we can talk about. And maybe there's something in alignment of why we met. It could be because of experiences. It could be something that, you know,
yeah,
we
because
take
our
out
first conversation, we had so much in common. It was like, even the way we released our first books, I don't talk about it much, but my first book, Think Outside Your Cubicle, it is on Amazon now. And
Mhm.
this is for, the woman, not the woman, sorry, people who need to leave the workplace because you have a
Yes,
business inside of you. So
yes,
think outside your cubicle, start a business today, how I did it, some of the mistakes that I made. But then I released that book last year and I didn't really so much, and I'm still not really pushing it because Get Over Him in an Hour became such a priority.
yes.
But think outside your cubicle too, guys, for those of you, especially the younger ones. Um, in business, like you're looking to start a business, you know, you have something inside of you, your instinct is so important. There's so
It is.
many, it's so important. And even like people overseas, and you can, if you have a business inside of you, don't delay it. I don't know how we went from relationship to business, but it's so important because it
It's all
ties in.
one. If you treat your relationship like a business, it'll be more successful.
And I know a lot of people say, oh, you treat this like a bit, but it's so important. You got to have some orders.
It
It's good hearing how you experience really. Thanks for sharing. God bless you and keep. Thank you, Terry.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
joining.
Terry. We
Appreciate
have
it.
fellas in the room. We have Sparrows men
We
in the
have,
room.
yes, look at that. Look at that.
Jeremy's in, Belton Robinson's in. Hi, Jeremy Myers. So, you know, we're well balanced over here in Sparrowland. But the
Great.
thing is,
I
it's a
appreciate
fact.
that it comes on. I don't know how many of you on right now or catching the replay are in the South Florida area, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm Beach area. In February, I don't have the exact date as yet, but you can look out for it. I will be doing a signing at a location in Broward County. I'll announce the time and date, and it will be good to see you guys come out and just kind of like celebrate with me as well. So that'll be in February. So
Great.
yeah.
Well, maybe you should travel other than.
I'm gonna be in your area in January. Well, I don't know if you're in I'm in Charlotte. And is it Charlotte or North Carolina? Is that where you are?
Mhm.
I'll be there in the end of January. I'm there for a conference, but I literally just thought about it. Like I need to and if anybody here is from Canada, I'll be there in January and I'm gonna try to do something in there. So North Carolina and Canada in January, Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale in February.
Yes.
So
We'll talk
well,
more about that, and maybe
yes,
we'll
exactly.
do something
So
with that.
follow and you know for the updates and yeah. But
Perfect.
yeah, I don't know if there's anything. I mean, we can go on and on. So this is, but we
I
talked
know.
about a handful.
I
So
know. It's okay though. However, I've talked tired. I have talked tired because you and I have that type of a thing. And
Vanier's like, good night.
good night. Thank you
No, he
guys
didn't
so
say good
much
night.
for
I'm just messing
coming.
with him.
Just be sure to put your contact information here, even if they should follow you. Put that in the comment section so they'll have that to keep up with you.
Okay, so guys,
It's
I just shared my website,
yeah.
selenablu.com. You can follow that you know, to get updates. If you're not following my podcast, guys, for the new year, just go to the website. Everything is there because there's a lot coming out. Take me with you to work in the morning. Valerie has one too. Valerie, we have a lot of the same thing
I
going
do.
on. So that's the next thing. I got to get on Valerie's show, and she has to come on my show soon.
It's done. And
So
again, to your late bloomers, yes, I'm divorcing Facebook and I'm moving my lives over to Instagram. That's effective January 1. So if you're not following there, tvm.217, be sure to go there and
that's your Instagram, Valerie?
so what?
What's your Instagram?
TVM for
Okay.
the tvm.217. That's where I'm going to be doing lives there and from the podcast because I need no interruptions whenever I'm ready to talk juice. And it's been one of those situations. I just don't want that. And when you realize you've outgrown something, accept that and move on. And I accept that I've outgrown Facebook.
So you're getting over Facebook in an hour. Pretty much.
And
you get over it.
See, all of the platforms have been set up already. I'm just making the transition. It's final come the first. It's final.
Got you.
For lives. I'm still going to be on Facebook. I'm just no longer doing my lives here anymore.
Gotcha. Got you.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
However, I thank you tremendously much.
Thank you for bringing
coming
me
to
on.
the room. You'll be back.
Thanks.
I will invite you again.
Yay. I didn't talk too much. I didn't overtalk.
No.
Thank you so much, Valerie, for bringing me on.
They have so much to say. You're welcome anytime. It's my pleasure. But definitely, I'm sure it's so many comments that we probably missed. And so I know I'll be going in and responding to the comments. But do thank yourselves for coming into the room. Again, share this live. It's so much that took place in conversations, business and pleasure. In essence, it's all one. There is no work-life balance. It's only one life. And so live it to the fullest. Thank you so much. We'll talk again soon. As for you, Sparrows, thank you again, as always, for dropping in the room on Wisdom Wednesdays and as well as Matters of the Heart Mondays. So, love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. And smooches to each of you. And you, my dear, we shall talk again offline
Okay, sounds
within
good.
the next
Thank you,
day or
guys.
two so we can plan some things about when you come to the Queen City in
Okay,
January. Okay.
sounds good.
All right. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Okay.